6 years ago, I made a prediction series on Mario Kart 9. A lot has changed since then. I've grown up a little bit, Nintendo isn't bleeding out anymore, and Mario Kart Tour exists. Now we're at this weird point where nobody actually knows when we're getting a new Mario Kart game. Will it be on the Switch with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or are we going to wait till the next generation? Either way, I wanted to put together a video on what I'd personally like to see in the next Mario Kart. So yeah, this is basically an updated version of the Mario Kart 9 series from all those years ago. I have no idea what they would name the title at this point, but let's just go with Mario Kart Ultimate because that sounds really cool. And we're gonna go crazy with this one. I don't expect all these ideas to happen, but even if a handful of them did, that'd be pretty nice. And before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more Nintendo videos. Back in the day, I was really up in arms about Nintendo repeating their retro tracks for some reason.
Out of all the retro tracks, the N64, which had the smallest selection of tracks to pick from, has the highest selection of tracks in the whole game. Because of this, there's only one left to use.
Whoa, chill out, me. It's not that big a deal. Nowadays, this happens all the time. SNES Rainbow Road and Yoshi Circuit have been recreated several times in multiple different Mario Karts. I also didn't know that Mario Kart 8 was gonna get DLC when I initially made the Mario Kart 9 series, so that really threw my predictions off. But Nintendo does DLC pretty frequently now, so I'm gonna go ahead and predict 16 retro tracks that I think could be put into the game, as well as a few bonus ones for any potential DLC. Starting with the SNES track is pretty appropriate, and it's actually the last classic Mario Circuit track that hasn't been recreated, although I imagine Mario Kart Tour will eventually include this one. Water mixed with a theme park wouldn't seem like something that could mesh together well, but it actually did in Mario Kart 8. It's a beginner track in that game, and it has this nice slow feel to it, which is perfect for a starter cup. This track was recreated in Mario Kart Wii, and while it was pretty good in that game, with the gliding mechanics and underwater mechanics now, this track could be way more interesting. Since you can go underwater now, perhaps you could go through that giant pool of water, but instead of there being nothing, there's a bunch of cataquacks, so it's a bit of a risk between, oh, do I try to take a shortcut and risk getting hit by a cataquack, or do I take the long way around? This is a really weird course, and it's actually one of the longest courses in Mario Kart 7. The environment is very diverse for this track, which is kinda nice for Mario Kart, seeing as a lot of them kinda look the same. You've got jars to break, big boosts to take, and all sorts of sharp turns to nail. One of the most overlooked traffic-themed tracks in Mario Kart. You're driving on a road cutting through a bunch of mountaintops. This could look absolutely beautiful in HD with updated scenery. Blending water and horror works perfectly, and it would be awesome to see this make a return. It's honestly one of the most interesting Mario Kart horror-themed tracks to date. While not quite as great as DK Mountain, DK Snowboard Cross, or Summit depending on where you're from, has loads of ramps to jump off of. Oh, and there's also Snowboarding Shy Guys, so can't really go wrong. So this one was remade in Mario Kart DS, and most recently Mario Kart Tour. I absolutely love how this one looks in Mario Kart Tour. It's just so much more lively, and this same kind of idea could be done once again for Mario Kart Ultimate. The rumors of Luigi and Daisy actually being a couple are taken to the extremes for this track, seeing as there's a massive statue of both of them dancing. This is another solid track with a couple of cool shortcuts thrown in. I think it's time for this one to get the remake treatment. It's actually the final N64 track that hasn't been remade yet. It's always been one of my favorites, and it's long overdue. It's been several years since Mario Kart 8 came out, and this track is still mind-blowing. The fact that we drive through an airport, through a plane, and even glide with the planes is so incredible. This one needs to return. Surprisingly, none of the ice levels have been redone from Super Mario Kart after all these years. Well, except Vanilla Lake 1 and Mario Kart Tour. This would be a pretty short track, but it would be so cool to actually drive underneath the water holes that are usually an obstacle, and for there to be a track to drive on. This cloud-based track takes you through airships and thunderstorms and is one of the best in Mario Kart 8. Plus, I mean, the song sneaks in Gusty Garden Galaxy music, so you kinda have to love this one. Like Wario Stadium and Mario Kart 64, it is a crime that this one has also not been redone as well. This was one of the longest tracks in Double Dash, and could very easily be expanded on a little bit more and turned into a massive one-lap course. Mario Kart Wii's Bowser's Castle is probably my favorite Bowser Castle of all time. Not only is it difficult, but there's so much that happens. The road is constantly changing. You've got all sorts of pits to avoid. There's fire and all sorts of obstacles to watch out for. While not the most interesting Rainbow Road, Nintendo has been following some sort of pattern with the Rainbow Road tracks. Mario Kart 7 got the SNES one, Mario Kart 8 got the N64 one, so I imagine Mario Kart Ultimate will get the Game Boy Advance one. And now for some honorable mentions or DLC picks. This is one of the most beloved Mario Kart tracks of all time. Big Blue is one massive lap. You go really fast, it looks amazing, the music slaps. I mean, it has to return, it's inevitable. So Mushroom Bridge has been made in the past, but never Mushroom City. I always found this one to be the more interesting choice as well, simply because it's nighttime and it's a lot more hectic. I always loved this track because the backgrounds would constantly change from being sunset to nighttime. This has to be one of the most underrated Super Circuit tracks. They've already redone this one in Mario Kart 7, but this is honestly one of the best Mario Kart tracks of all time. The Tick-Tock Clock remake was incredible in Mario Kart 8, so I'd love to see something similar happen to Waluigi's Pinball in the same style. So, those are my retro track predictions. This time, I tried to organize the tracks by difficulty since that wasn't really a focus last time, and I also wanted to make sure there was as much variety as possible. I have two theories on which characters we'll get. That might sound weird because it's just characters, but hear me out as I go over the first theory. Back in the day, I was really annoyed at Mario Kart 8's roster because of the lack of iconic characters and of, well, I mean, you know. But then we got DLC for Mario Kart 8, which did something crazy. For the first time, besides Rob and Mario Kart DS, they introduced non-Mario characters like Link and Villager. But then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe pushed the ante even further and brought us Inklings, Dry Bones, Dry Bowser, Bowser Jr., and a few others. But things get even weirder with Mario Kart Tour. The roster for that game is absolutely massive. They have brought back almost every previous character plus tons of new ones. Even Donkey Kong Jr. from Super Mario Kart is in that game now. Like, who would have thought he would ever return to any sort of resemblance? It really is too bad that it's a mobile game and is littered with microtransactions, and that kind of makes it almost impossible to unlock every character. But this is where the mainline Mario Kart can do something magical. Since Mario Kart Tour now has all these high-quality models of characters, they could import all of them into Mario Kart Ultimate. Now, I'm sure some reworking would need to be done here, but think about it. The base models already exist, they're already here, and it'd be silly for them to not reuse them. The menu for the characters would definitely need to be cleaned up though, as the UI was a little wonky in Mario Kart 8. Sometimes that menu was straightforward, and sometimes it wasn't. If you selected Yoshi or Shy Guy, you'd get a sub-menu to select between colors. And that's all good and dandy, it's good to have those options, but then on that same menu you've got Mario, Metal Mario, and Tanuki Mario, all just individually placed. So ask me this, why weren't they also put into a sub-menu? I mean, the characters could still have different stats, no problem. It would just be less clutter. So I'm gonna predict this. The UI is gonna get cleaned up a little bit, characters will be in more sub-menus, and also we're gonna get a majority of the characters from Mario Kart Tour simply for the reason that it would be really efficient to do that. Now, on to my second theory. Nintendo could also pretend that Mario Kart Tour doesn't exist and that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was the last game. This is basically how they treat the Mario Kart arcade titles, so Mario Kart Tour could be on that same tier. So with that perspective, Nintendo still has a lot of room to grow out the roster. As for the current roster, I honestly don't see anyone getting cut out. I mean, at this point, the more the merrier, right? And yes, just keep Pink Gold Peach in, I don't care at this point. For clarity's sake though, I'll go ahead and list off all the current characters in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. These are Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, Tanuki Mario, Cat Peach, Yoshi, Toad, Koopa, Shy Guy, Lekatu, Toadette, King Boo, Baby Mario / Luigi / Peach / Daisy / Rosalina, Metal / Gold Mario, Pink Gold Peach, Wario, Waluigi, Donkey Kong, Bowser, Dry Bones, Bowser Jr., Dry Bowser, all the Koopalings, Inkling Girl / Boy, Link, male / female villager, Isabelle, and the Miis. That's actually a pretty nice roster, but Mario Kart 8 is still missing some characters from the previous games. I'll go ahead and list off some characters that I could see making a comeback. The most likely choices are Birdo, Funky Kong, and Petey Piranha. These ones are already in a lot of Mario sports games, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them show up again. I didn't bring up all the missing ones though, like Rob, Wiggler, and Honey Queen. And that's just because their inclusion in Mario spin-offs are really few and far between. As for new characters, I actually don't imagine we'll get a lot that are Mario related since we already have most of them. We'll start off with some basic picks though. These include Kamek, Boom Boom, Pom Pom, Womp King, and a Goomba. And yes, I did say Goomba. If he can be a character in Super Mario Party, he can be a driver in Mario Kart. For fun, I've also put together a dream roster for new Mario characters. Again, I must iterate a dream roster, so I don't actually expect these to happen. My picks are Wart, Fawful, Kamek, Vivian, Professor Egad, Poochie, the Sprixie Princesses, and the Brutals from Mario Odyssey. As for the most likely choices for Mario Kart Tour exclusive characters, I feel like we'd probably see King Bob-omb, Pauline, Hammer Bro, and Peachette to be most likely. But this is where things can get really interesting: the non-Mario characters. There's the possibility that Nintendo is just gonna go hog wild with the idea and add a ton of non-Mario characters. For all we know, we're gonna get Nintendo Kart instead of Mario Kart. Although Nintendo would still call it Mario Kart for marketing sakes, even though it would be more Nintendo-y, but that's a whole different topic. We currently have the Zelda, Splatoon, and Animal Crossing series in Mario Kart. But what additional franchises would they add next? What makes it so exciting is they've really opened the doors for just about anything to happen, so it's very hard to predict that, and honestly, this kind of gives me Smash Bros vibes, and I dig that. I imagine Captain Falcon would finally get his chance to shine in Mario Kart, and not just as a Mii costume that requires you to skin an amiibo of him. I could also see Kirby getting in because he's constantly getting new games every year. Oh, and by the way, Kirby AIRRIDE exists. That's like a thing, a racing game. There's probably a chance of Zelda getting in as well, and maybe even Gandorf, but it's also hard to say how many non-Mario characters per IP that Nintendo wants to add. And of course, how can we forget Pokemon? I mean, Pikachu would be an awesome fit for the game. Samus would also be a really sick choice, and she also has a gunship in her own game, so that kind of counts as racing. And speaking of space racing, what about Fox McCloud? I feel like he'd fit in pretty well too. So yeah, I can't believe I had so much to say about freaking characters, but things have really gotten so complex over the past 6 years. I had to take into consideration all the Mario Kart Tour stuff, everything that's been included in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that, just goes on for forever. Whatever ends up happening, I hope we have a selection of at least 40 characters to pick from. Although honestly, my first theory of importing the Mario Kart Tour characters and then slowly unlocking them would be incredible. I mean, I can already see how it would work. Every 50 or 100 coins you get in a race, you unlock a new character or a new kart piece. And imagine how long that would take to do. God, that sounds so sick. And you know, Nintendo, just on a side note, you really do need to step up your game considering you do have actual competition now. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Items can either make or break a Mario Kart game. We've had some truly awful ones in the past, and others that make a lot of sense. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has some of the best item balance in comparison to every other Mario Kart title. A common complaint I've seen is a lot of people hate the Spiny Shell, and the reasoning is that they're getting punished for being a good player. Personally, I think the Spiny Shell provides a good way to actually balance out the game, because if you didn't do that, the person in first place would be way too overpowered, because think about it, they can just use items to defend themselves. But then Mario Kart 8 came in and was like, yo, Super Horn, you want to destroy that Spiny Shell? Fine, you can do that. As well as any other item. The Super Horn is pretty rare though, so you're definitely not going to get that luxury all the time. Now look, the reason I'm even bringing all this up is because those two items in particular are absolutely crucial to be in every single Mario Kart title in the future to help maintain balance and keep the most people happy. Every other item in Mario Kart 8 should also be in the next game simply because they provide just enough chaos to make the races more engaging. I'll go ahead and list the items off just so everyone's up to snuff on everything. The items we have are the Banana, Triple Bananas, Blooper, Bob-omb, Boo, Boomerang Flower, Bullet Bill, Cape Feather for Battle Mode, Coins, Crazy 8, Fire Flower, Mushroom, Triple Mushrooms, Golden Mushroom, Green Shell, Triple Green Shells, Lightning, Piranha Plant, Red Shell, Triple Red Shells, and the Superstar. One change I would make to the gameplay overall revolving around items is the coin count. Currently, you can only collect up to 10, but that kind of sucks when you're maxed out on coins and you're getting the coin item when you're in first place. So there should be some sort of reward for getting coins no matter what, because they're really not that great seeing as you can't defend yourself with them. A simple solution to this is just to increase the maximum to like 20 or 30 coins, and considering how long Mario Kart tracks are, you'd probably never really max out to 30 coins. Or more interestingly, be able to spend your coins on getting an additional item. So let's just say that you've got like 10 or 20 coins, so instead of saving them, you hit a button and the coins go away and the box roulette rolls again. The idea here is that you would sacrifice the extra speed you're gaining from coins, but you might might get an additional item that would help you. Before thinking about new items though, are there any old ones that should return? Let's start with the ones that likely won't come back. First, we've got the Lucky 7, and I mean, it doesn't really make sense considering we already have the Crazy 8, which is basically the same thing, but then Mario Kart Tour also had the Lucky 7, so maybe in Mario Kart Ultimate, they'll go back to Lucky 7, and then remove the Crazy 8, because Crazy 8 was just for Mario Kart 8. I don't know. You know what? One of them are not going to be in the game, that's all I know. The Chain Chomp item doesn't make any more sense either because the Bullet Bill essentially replaces it. I also don't see the POW Block or Thundercloud returning either. The POW Block wasn't the worst thing ever, but you had to time when to shake your controller to avoid spinning out, which was annoying, and then everyone loses their items anyway. And then there's the Thundercloud, which is just garbage. I mean, yeah, you go fast when you have it, but then you'll shrink if you don't pass the cloud to someone else, and I mean, no one likes that item. There's a reason both of them have never returned. But not for the items that I would like to see return / are more likely to happen. These include the Fake Item Box, Mega Mushroom, Bowser Shell, Yoshi / Birdo Egg, Super Leaf, Heart, and Giant Banana. You may have noticed that a lot of these items are found specifically in Mario Kart Double Dash. Now, why would I think they'd go back to that? Well, Mario Kart Tour has actually done something pretty cool. Every single character in that game has special items that are exclusive to them. Kind of. The concept was taken right out of Mario Kart Double Dash, and since it's returned in Mario Kart Tour, I think it's a little bit more likely that we'll see it again in Mario Kart Ultimate. The only difference is that a lot of the Mario Kart Tour characters have repeat special items, just because there's so many characters in the game, but it's still a pretty cool feature. But what about the Mario Kart Tour exclusive items? There's 10 of them right now, and they might add more in the future. These include the Bubble, Double Bob-omb, Banana Barrels, Mushroom Cannon, Coin Box, Dash Ring, Bob-omb Cannon, Ice Flower, Hammer, and Giga Bob-omb. Now, yes, technically the hammer is also in the Mario Kart arcade titles, but it's used totally differently in Mario Kart Tour, so I still count it as a new item. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually super impressed with all these new items, and I think they all belong in the next game. But is any of this even gonna happen? Well, I mean, it's hard to say, because, like we mentioned earlier, Mario Kart Tour might just not exist to Nintendo when they're working on the next Mario Kart. There's plenty to say when it comes to talking about the old items and how they should be handled, but what about new items? I feel like we're only gonna get like 3 or 4 new items, because there's already plenty to go around. One of my ideas is the Poison Mushroom. It could look similar to the design in Mario Maker 2, and you can throw it in front of or behind you. For anyone that hits this mushroom, they'll get a flat tire in either the right or left wheel, and it'll not only slow them down, but it's going to throw off their steering completely. So next, I've got a really crazy one. How about a warp pipe? When you use this item, a warp pipe will spawn in front of you. When you go through the pipe, you'll randomly warp farther ahead than you already were. So it'd kind of be like a bullet bill, but here's how it would be vastly different. If anyone is behind you, they could also take the warp pipe and take the exact same shortcut, and the pipe itself wouldn't disappear for a while. Or heck, maybe we could get the rock mushroom from Mario Galaxy. Your car turns into a massive boulder, and you roll really fast for a few seconds. So while you can destroy everything in your path, it's also really hard to turn. For another item, how about the Goomba Shoe? This would basically allow you to do 3 mini jumps. After jumping, you get a nice little boost of speed. This could be really beneficial over using a mushroom if you're trying to get around an enemy, or maybe if you're just trying to get over a big obstacle. But that'll be about it for items. But realistically, I feel like Nintendo could just keep what they have right now, and then add in most of the items from Mario Kart Tour, and that would satisfy most people. Now, of course, since this is a prediction video, we gotta predict some new tracks for the game. It has become increasingly harder to predict these things because Nintendo's ideas have just gotten wackier and wackier over the years. Regardless though, I still have a handful of ideas that I'd like to share. First, we have the new Bowser's Castle, but instead of it being a castle, what if it kind of followed the idea of World Bowser from Super Mario 3D World? I could see something like this happening because Super Mario 3D World is getting ported to the Switch. And it's just a really cool aesthetic. I love all the bright lights and the overall vibe that it protrudes. Speaking of bright lights, maybe we'll get some sort of concert track. Now, I predicted this one in the past, and it kind of already exists with Electrodome, although that stage is more of just an overall dance/party kind of thing. This would be more like going to a rock concert or something. Maybe you'd be able to drive through the aisles and everyone that's in seats is just a bunch of Mario characters jamming out to some rock band. Heck, maybe this could be a Splatoon concert where Spicy Calamari is playing. That would be really cool. This is a bit of a weird choice, but maybe a hospital track could work. The obstacles in that track could be patients that are getting rolled in between rooms. And heck, maybe at some point you even drive through an operating room. This is basically my big house prediction of the video, but we kind of already have that with Mario Kart Live. It's Big House Mario Kart. Best game ever. I've also predicted a Mario 64 track in the past where basically you start in Peach's castle, you go through the rooms, and then when you go through the paintings, you actually enter the levels. And you want to know what's really cool? There's a mod in Mario Kart DS that does exactly that. But you know what? I don't expect Nintendo to do this. The most that maybe we could get out of them is just Bob-omb Battlefield. And there's even mods in Mario Kart Wii where you actually can drive through Bob-omb Battlefield, and it works decently well. Next, I've got some sort of hurricane track. Mario Kart 7 and 8 have some really in-depth water levels that work well, so it would be cool to have this really large one-lap track where you're driving through an entire hurricane. Unfortunately, hurricanes destroy buildings and stuff, but maybe there's a bunch of like tidal waves and stuff that you drive through, and inside those tidal waves is pieces of buildings that you have to jump off of, and if you end up missing the jumps, well, you go down to the bottom and you can still play, but it's a little bit slower. My next prediction is some sort of garden or sunflower field. I know Peach Gardens already tackled this idea in Mario Kart DS, but that track is pretty old now and I think a lot more could be done. Maybe just mashing together a garden, sunflower field, and some sort of farm could work. Another one of my ideas is a big sandcastle. I think I might have predicted something like this in the past, but I can't remember. The idea would be that the racers are driving around in this giant sandcastle, but as the laps persist, more of the castle is falling apart because it's sand, and that would essentially change how you're driving. So this next one is a really stupid idea, but I'm throwing it out there anyway. Desert Bus. All you do is drive straight for 3 minutes. Now, of course, they could make the scenery more interesting and there's some item boxes, but the main idea is that you just drive straight for 3 minutes. It's so stupid that it might actually be a good idea. Now, how about some sort of hiking trail track? We have had things like Mount Wario where you're kind of driving through a forest, but we've never had anything where there's a lot of hiking trails and you have to find the right paths to take that are fastest. A stage like this could have a lot of split paths, similar to Yoshi's Valley. So this next idea comes right out of Paper Mario: The Origami King. This area is near the end of the game, and the idea is that you're supposed to soak Bowser Jr. in a bunch of different spa baths. I just really love the environment in this area, and I think the idea of having to drive through a bunch of spa baths would be kinda cool. And last but not least, the Metro Kingdom from Mario Odyssey. This could be an incredible track if done well, especially with anti-gravity in play. Imagine driving up the walls of these buildings and then jumping from rooftop to rooftop. I just get excited thinking about the possibility of this happening. Please, Nintendo, of all the ideas I've given, make this one real. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was so close to perfecting the battle mode. I love the track selection, the gameplay, the item balance, it all worked so well. However, there were two major problems: the time limit and respawning. So you're able to adjust the amount of time you get for battle matches, which is nice, but there's also no way to turn it off. Another huge problem is that when you lose all your balloons, instead of getting eliminated for good, you respawn instead. What sucks about that is there isn't much incentive to avoid getting hit when you end up coming back anyway. It doesn't feel like there's as much of a rush. Another minor thing is that you weren't able to control how many racers were on the field. It was always 12. For battle mode in particular, I found that going any higher than 8 players just made the matches way too hectic. So all that really needs to be done here is just to give us more options. So this is it. Allow us to pick between 4 to 12 racers for a match if we get eliminated or respawn in a match, and also to be able to toggle off the timer. That's it. Nothing else needs to be done here. I know Nintendo can do that. These are very basic options that would vastly improve the battle mode. And look, I understand why there's time limits for like online play with randoms. You don't want the matches to go on for too long. But at the same time, we should be able to have these settings at least for local play or online with friends. But onto the stages themselves, I'll go ahead and pick out a few retro ones that I think would be worth bringing back. I also feel like we're going to get around 5 to 6 retro and 5 to 6 new ones. This should really be in every Mario Kart game. Block Fort is simply perfect for battle mode. It's got 3 floors, everything is symmetrical, and it's always a fantastic time. This 2-floor stage has a really unique feature of being able to shoot out of pipes when you drive into them. This was one of the best battle mode tracks in Double Dash, and we need to see it again. This light gravity track made it stand out among the others, and it's got some slapping music as well. I honestly don't know what the most popular battle mode track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is, but I always like this one the most. Because why not, right? This is one of the few super old battle mode tracks that haven't been remade yet. It has funky in the name. It's also a giant sports stadium. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Funky Stadium. Of the 3 new battle tracks in Mario Kart 7, this was the one that I always seem to remember. And it's kind of cool how it's all so interconnected with one another. So now I'm gonna go ahead and list off some new battle mode tracks that could make it in, but I want to do something a little different. I really loved that Urchin Underpass was a stage we got in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so instead of predicting random stages from random places, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Nintendo locales based off characters that I feel like would have the best chance of making it in. First, we have Black Belly Skate Park. Urchin Underpass worked so well before, and I think this probably would too, considering how many curves there are and all the places you can jump at. You definitely have to increase the size a lot, but I'm sure it would fit right in. And what about City Trial from Kirby Air Ride? This is an underground iconic level from that game and would be amazing to see get recreated for Mario Kart. So now we got a really weird one that I just wanted to mention, although we probably won't get it. And that is Alinos Perch from Metroid Prime Hunters. For those that don't know, Metroid Prime Hunters was a DS game that had some really awesome multiplayer. I actually played this a lot in middle school, and back then, playing anything online that was Nintendo themed was kind of a rarity. But anyway, I think this level in particular would be perfect for Mario Kart. And this last one I have is kind of a no-brainer, but also one no one really talks about, but one of the stages from Mario Chase in Nintendo Land. It's literally built exactly like a Mario Kart battle level, so I see no reason that it couldn't be brought to Mario Kart Ultimate. And I gotta say, it really gives me a lot of those Cookie Land vibes. So there's 2 things that Nintendo needs to focus on for Mario Kart Ultimate: an adventure mode and as much customization as possible. We've all heard and talked about this time and time again, but Mario Kart isn't really known for its single-player content. Well, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, considering Mario Kart gameplay at its core is always really good. Nintendo really needs to start picking up their slack a little bit. And besides, I don't really know how the gameplay itself could truly be altered anymore. I mean, personally, I would like to see actual manual drifting again, like in Mario Kart 64, Double Dash, or DS, but that ain't happening. But before we talk about new stuff, there's one mode in particular that I have to bring up. Say it with me, guys. It's time to bring back the mission mode. This was one of my favorite things in Mario Kart DS, and it is truly a shame that we haven't seen it return since. Or at least until last year, because Mario Kart Tour kind of reintroduces mission mode again, and all of that groundwork could very easily be brought to Mario Kart Ultimate. Let's take a quick peek at some of the missions in that game. Sometimes you'll have to drive through rings, perform lots of jump boosts, crush small racers, break moving item boxes, avoid obstacles, race giant characters, blow up Goombas, and the list goes on and on. Mission mode was always a fun distraction from playing the usual game, and Mario Kart Tour has managed to make hundreds of these missions over the course of a year. So tell me why Mario Kart Ultimate couldn't do the exact same thing. They could start us off with like 10 to 20 missions, and then just add a few every couple weeks. If you thought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was popping, imagine a Mario Kart game where you're constantly getting brand new missions for a couple years at bare minimum. And instead of the missions or cups disappearing, Mario Kart Tour, you actually get to keep the missions for forever. Now, what could Nintendo do for an adventure mode? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Just take some inspiration from Crash Team Racing or Diddy Kong Racing. Both of these games have an incredible story mode where you're driving around a hub, playing through tracks and unlocking all sorts of stuff. Nintendo could replace Diddy Kong Racing's balloons with collecting star coins, and you have to get a specific amount of star coins to unlock different parts of the world. And if Nintendo really wants to be cheeky, the hub world could just be Peach's castle, and you have to drive through the paintings to unlock new tracks. And instead of silver coin races after doing the normal races, just make them red coins. And on top of that, they could include tournaments to do, other missions to play, and even some boss battles. And don't tell me Nintendo can't do boss battles. Again, let's go back to Mario Kart DS, as that game had quite a few boss battles for their mission mode. Now look, even if there was a campaign that was like this and it wasn't that long, it would be infinitely better than what we've got right now, and way more interesting too. Now on top of that, I've got a few more ideas and other small game modes that could be thrown in as well. For one, let's talk about the Big House mode. Now, yeah, that's mostly a joke. All I'm really saying is compatibility with Mario Kart Live. While Mario Kart Live is a spin-off game that just released for the Switch, I could see this very easily working with Mario Kart Ultimate as well. Perhaps you could use assets from the newer tracks to kind of create your own. Another cool thing they could do is have the ability to control how many racers are on the track at any given time. If we could pick between 8, 12, 16, and 24 racers, that would be incredible. And they could definitely do that too. When there's 8 racers, simply scale the track down, and when there's 24, scale it up a little bit. If Smash Bros. Ultimate can do it with all 100 of their stages, Mario Kart could do it with their tracks too. Also, there's a 24-player mod in Mario Kart Wii that works flawlessly right now. So yeah, a shiny new Mario Kart game could also introduce 24 players. Now, as for bonus game modes, I was thinking something along the lines of an elimination mode could be cool. The idea is that you pick one track and you basically do several laps in a row. The person that's in last place gets eliminated after each lap, and that keeps happening until there's one person left. This could get really intense by the end and be a lot of fun as well. As for the difficulty settings, we'll probably still get 50, 100, 150, and 200cc. I'm assuming that the tracks will also be built a little bit better for 200cc, considering they kind of just randomly threw it into Mario Kart 8 and it doesn't really work that well, but it's still cool nonetheless. But instead of unlocking a mirror mode, I feel like a reverse mode would be way better. Reverting back to Mario Kart Tour again, most of their tracks can also be played backwards. All they have to do is occasionally add like a boost or some place to jump to where you normally couldn't. Now granted, this would take a little more work to do, that's for sure, but it's a lot more interesting than just playing the tracks in mirror mode. Something else that I'd like to see get pulled from Mario Kart Tour is the challenges. These are basically just achievements for completing certain things like getting kills with a green shell or banana or whatever, but I found that those challenges really drove me to play more Mario Kart Tour than I thought I would. Your rewards for completing challenges could be as simple as getting a bundle of coins, or maybe you unlock characters and cart pieces. The final thing I'd like to see is some sort of upgrade system for cart pieces. Mario Kart Tour also has this, but it's made in a way that it's super slow and the progression is horrible, and it basically wants to drain all the money out of your wallet. The Switch version could take the same idea, but you level up a lot faster, and the only way you can progress is by using that cart and playing normally as well as placing high. Now, since there's already so many cart pieces in the game, I'd imagine leveling all of them up would take a while, so maybe only keep it at about 2 to 3 hours per cart piece, but that would encourage people to try out all the cart pieces and fully level everything up. My god, I had a lot to say about Mario Kart, didn't I? Realistically, I feel like this new Mario Kart game isn't coming out for at least a couple more years since Mario Kart Live just came out and Mario Kart Tour is still getting updates. I hope it's sooner rather than later, but those are my predictions. Let me know what your predictions are down in the comments, and thank you guys so much for watching till the end of the video. With all that said though, I'll see you guys next time and I'll catch you later.